Joe, thanks for coming on our podcast, Survivors, How to Survive and Thrive in the merchant service industry. I'm going to let Austin, since you guys have previously worked together and he knows a little bit more about you than I do, kind of give you a little bit of an intro, and then we'll go in from there.
Fantastic.
All right, so we got Joe Mckee on today. Joe Mckee is probably one of the most seasoned industry veterans that I know personally. Joe's been a big part of my success, Brandvisor's success, a lot of people around me's success. The big thing that we wanted to touch on with Joe today is Joe's been, my energy when I don't have it. We feed off each other. That's a huge piece that he brings to the table in our industry and our business is motivation. And that's kind of what we want to touch in on with him today, and how he feels that helps, sales reps succeed, ISO owners succeed, sales managers to succeed, and how we can implement that, just in our day-to-day grind and day-to-day flow. So the one, the only Joe Mckee, if you could tell us just a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Well, first off, I appreciate that, and I'm grateful to get to participate today. So I'm Joe Mckee, and I am 48 years old, and I've been in this industry for about 12 years now, and done pretty well at it. I like to think we've been successful, but
what did you transition
the name of your I actually transitioned from home improvements, and we had a company had about 240 employees, and so I transitioned from that industry. But we had a gentleman that worked for us that was part of our company, and he really couldn't make it on our sales team, and someone had told me that he was out in Phoenix, Arizona doing this credit card thing, and they were always trying to recruit and hire me. Well, I own 49% of this other company, and I don't know, they talked me into doing some stuff on the weekend, and then before you know it, I was doing it full time. So I transitioned out of home improvements, which is you wouldn't think would be typical, right?
Right.
But let me say this, their business model out in Phoenix was the identical business model that we had at our other company. So, the nationwide do not call list, you're looking at the pinpoint guy there. So, meaning that the Attorney General focused in on one company, and that was our company, and the Attorney General ran in Indiana on that platform. So my point is, at the time, telemarketing was huge. And so I went out to Phoenix. I looked at this gentleman's business model, and it was literally the same type of business model that we had in the home improvement industry. He had a big call center, et cetera, et cetera. And so I was like, wow, this is just a different product or a different solution. And so that's how I made the transition.
Cool. And did you go right into being an ISO, or did you, sell under a different company, or were you just an agent or referral partner?
Right. Good question. I sold as an independent agent. That's not true. I came on there as a W-2. So I sold just as a salesperson or a territory rep, whatever you want to call it. But I was a W-2 at the time, and that was the worst. That was not good. Once I got out into the industry, I saw how bad that deal was. But I started off as a sales analyst is what they called us there. And then from there, sooner or later, I transitioned out into my own business. And obviously, that's when I started my own ISO.
Okay. And was that ISO at the time still Invotech?
The ISO that I started with,
yeah,
or the one that I am at now?
The one that you said you left the W-2, like, the Heartland kind of Beyond model.
Yep.
Went and started
exactly. Yes, and that is Invotech today. Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about Invotech? Because I see you guys do a lot more than just processing. There's it looks like you do a little bit of SEO, marketing, reputation management, web design.
Yeah, so our new website is actually going up today, and it will be a more streamlined message. But at the end of the day, we have, I don't say we have to, there's one of two avenues that I think that someone like myself or with a small ISO will have to go this way or that way, A or B. And the B path is what I call the more solutions path. So I can either be a rifle, laser, or I can have more of a shotgun approach. And so when we transitioned into Invotech, that is obviously around innovative technologies, point of sale, et cetera. And from there, we've tried to broaden our scope or our solution mix to give us a higher probability, one, to get in and talk with folks, talk to merchants, but also give us the availability to upsell and cross-sell. So we've had to make a decision. Do we use laser, rifle approach, a rifle shot approach, or use a shotgun approach? And we've decided to become more of a solutions company where we build and nurture relationships with our merchants. We try to do that deeply. Then we try to cross-sell and upsell. So concept there is somebody has 5,000 merchant accounts. Well, we might have 2,500 merchant accounts, but when we look at the total portfolio, there might be 5,000 accounts, and they're diversified. So when I look at the future, when I look at the runway of the payments industry, I only think there are a couple approaches to the market. And so the one that we took is the shotgun approach.
Okay. So, and those accounts are always going to be more stickier because they're, if you're doing well in the other things like SEO or web design, they're not going to go, hey, we're just going to go get a new website, because
absolutely. Now
the capital investment.
It don't take a brain surgeon to figure that out, but yeah, that's our model. And, and you can elaborate a little bit on that, Jonathan. It's, in this business, it's gain and retain, right? Gain and retain. It's basically about winning over a client. And we, probably not like most, we spend a ton of money to build and nurture these relationships. So, so we're trying to negate attrition, gain and retain. That's part of that too. So if somebody has 3 or 4 different solutions with us, one, and they cancel their credit card processing, the account's not dead, right? And 2, they probably have a less probability of canceling once we have a deep relationship with them. And I don't want to say we have our hooks in. That's not the right terminology, but
hey, Joe,
we certainly have a relationship. Yep.
So when you gain these accounts and you're nurturing them, reaching out, sending letters, talking to them on the phone, making sure that they have everything that they need to retain. At what point is Invotech reaching out and saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Merchant, you've been great customers of ours, great clients of ours with the merchant services, we reach out to you. So there's nothing else we can do for you as far as merchant services goes, but we have this product, SMS marketing, or we see, the trend in the area, the restaurant's revenue dropping a little bit, here's our solution to help you out with that. At what point do you reach back out to them? Are you trying to sell them these secondary products initially, or are you keeping them on for a while and then reaching back out to them internally, or both?
Right. That's sure. That's a fantastic question. You guys went blank.
We're still here. I can see you. You're good.
Oh, you get? Okay. My screen, maybe it's just my screen. So that's a fantastic question. Oh, there you are. So first off, part of our scaling up processes here is in direct proportion to what you said, being more strategic on how we do that. So let me go back and address that. We saw, being out in the field, we saw a massive need for like social media within a certain age demographic. Okay, so it started to become redundant, right? And so we saw a need or a void there. So that answers part of your question. Say it again.
Is that demographic 40 and below?
I would say it's 40 and up.
40 and up, really?
So you get out to, yeah, well, no, maybe I didn't state that right. So when you get out to, I don't even know, some auto mechanic, that's 40 plus years, he will be in, it's like, hey man, I need help with the social media. Hey, I need help with my website. Hey, they're just not as tech savvy as a millennial or a 25 or 30-year-old. That's
So you're
banging
talking
their
about your
Instagram.
target.
That's it.
Sorry to interrupt you. So you're talking about your target market being the demographic that might not have grown up with social media or isn't as tech savvy on the social media or mobile devices, so that you can help them get back in front of 40 and below demographic
Yes.
that is tech savvy enough to be using it.
Yeah. So the point I was trying to make is when I was out in the field, I would see a void, and usually that void, the common denominator there was that they were, just like Jonathan said, 40 and above though. So that was the first thing. We start seeing voids. Okay. We keep our ear to the street and look what's hot, what trends are coming. And what we're doing now is we build and nurture the relationship a little bit. We don't just automatically hit them back up, if we're like, hey, check out our point of sale. Hey, do you need a cash advance? What are you doing for payroll? We build that relationship a little bit. So one of the things that we're doing though is we're having all of our merchants go to our website to log into their quote unquote back office, so they can pull up their reports and their statements. Normally we just give them a link. So one of the things that we're doing strategically is having them go to our Invotech site, which will be up today, right? Our new site. And then there they will log in, but before they log in, they're going to be getting a little splash of our products staying in front of them, right? It's kind of like getting off the ship of a cruise liner in Jamaica. You have to go through the long line of people trying to sell you something before you get where you want to go. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Oh,
okay, so that's a concept there. And of course now we are right in the midst of building some really cool drip campaigns. And that's all tied in with the newsletter. So newsletters once a month. We have specific drip campaigns. And then I spend thousands of dollars for people to call them individually just to check on them.
So this is something
you automatically opt your people into the drip campaign, or is that something that you send out an email and say, hey, do you guys want to see more of what we're doing at Invotech?
Both of those. So we send everybody out a newsletter. So that's the initial. We have an email that we send out initially. Then we have a newsletter that we send out, and that's kind of our dabbling our toes in the water with them. Now, also, we're calling every one of our clients back almost every month. So when we're on the phone, we're talking about products, et cetera, and then we're saying, hey, would you like us to send you some more information, whatever it is that they're talking about, right? And then we can opt them into a campaign.
Oh, cool. So
as far as so your marketing strategy in order to hit these secondary sales and increase the amount of products that each one of your clients has with you is solely it's pretty much based on gain and retain, building the relationships, putting your products in front of them, and trying to be being a whole solution based merchant service firm. So if I owned a tire shop in North Kansas City, Missouri, and I signed my merchant services with you, I'm 52 years old. My kids and my grandkids are all on Facebook. They're seeing the short videos, the ads for other mechanic shops. Their friends are going there. It's catchy. You can help them out with the social media stuff, drip campaigns as far as email stuff, SMS marketing, I'm assuming, and so on. So what do you think is the magic number? How many solutions do you feel each merchant needs to have with Invotech to be classified as a sticky merchant?
First, let me address the other thing. So we have a specific go-to market strategy with our PCs that's other than the drip campaign. So we send them out we'll just call it a free report. Leave it at this point. It's a 7-page report, and it is basically an overall performance scan of their complete digital doorway, which handles SEO, which handles mobile marketing, which handles their website, which handles their listings, which handles their Google My Business and Google reviews. Is their site mobile optimized? So we send something out that's really a cool gift that we give them for free, and that's that perks the conversation up. So how many solutions? Well, obviously the first knee-jerk answer also is as many as I can get, right? So, however, as we are looking to scale, as we're scaling our business, we are breaking that down into more of 3 big buckets. And if you even want to say that, 2 big buckets. We have our, hey, let us help you reduce cost. How do we do that? We take advantage of new regulations that are been passed, et cetera, cash discounting, yada, yada. That's our number one strategy at this point. We have some other things we're going to be doing to lower cost. And then to increase sales, it's all digital media. So we have a package that we sell, and that's becoming more robust, But it would be great. Website, payments, and point of sale would be the ticket there.
Gotcha.
Now, is this handled in-house, or are you guys white labeling a different solution or outsourcing?
Both. We've just brought on a fantastic marketing manager. I have not been as pleased with an employee. I probably employed 1,000 people over the years, right? And she's just been spot on. She's working on my own personal brand, whatnot. So she brings a team behind her. Some of that's outsourced. And then we do probably 50% of it in-house. So, we just hired 2 new people for social media. We sold 30 social media accounts this month. So the girls up front are like, man, slow down, and that's not our credit card processing as well. So in-house. So to answer your question, Austin, as many solutions as I can, and 50% in-house and probably 50% outsource. We have deep relationships with those people we outsource to.
Now, I found when we were doing websites, to get the merchant processing, we'd have those people calling us all the time to change a little thing. Are you charging for that, or is that something that comes with their package?
So let's go back to the word scaling up again, Jonathan, right? So you bring on 2 points there. So at this point, yes, we handle anything that they want. One of the things that we're doing to negate that is trying to do a really good onboarding and initial strategy or initial vision call. So we're working with them as we're building the site. It's just not a plug and play or a stamped out, whatever. So we want to negate that as much as we can down the road. However, that might have to change. How are you
going to do that for restaurants and e-commerce?
Well, we don't do e-commerce. We try to stay away from e-commerce.
Oh, okay.
We try to stay away from e-commerce. We do have some e-commerce. Let me say this, and they're a pain. They're a real pain. So those have to be way more expensive because they take so much more time. And then the nurturing on them is just like you said, Jonathan. It's always. So at that point, we almost have to help them be able to add and delete products out of their website themselves and take on more responsibility instead of our concierge service.
Now we've really dove in super deep, like on ISO strategy and sales marketing strategy. What I kind of want to dive into now, if we can transition, is the motivation side of Joe. Joe puts out multiple motivational videos a week. Joe's done public speaking for Fortune 500 companies, large industry, global companies, and if I'm a sales rep that's a year or 2 into the business, the one thing that comes to mind from when I first started was, that start was rough. It beats you up. It's hard to be told no all the time. It's hard to get out there, between, 8 and 5 or whatever your hours are and go knock doors or make your calls or do your marketing online, whatever approach you're taking. How is, daily motivation or even multiple times a day motivation? How is, what does feeding your brain that content do for you? Why is that important? Why do you feel that's important, on a consistent basis?
Yeah, that's a great freaking question. So, I could put out a video this morning. I was thinking about the Kobe Bryant situation and the victims of that. First off, this guy had a Mamba mentality, and there's something to that. There's something to having a winner's mentality, and there's something to molding that. So I want to mold that winner's mentality. Okay. Now, let me digress. You don't have to be so passionate about what you're currently doing. Now, if you have your ISO and you're out there as an agent, obviously you want to be passionate about that. But if you can take that a step further and be passionate about life and in general, so to speak, you know, trying to become your most authentic and best version of yourself financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you know, physically, then obviously to do that, you're going to have some passion behind that. And to have passion, you have to self-feed yourself. If I let the the news media and all the negative stuff on social media just inundate me, then I'm screwed. So I have to take responsibility. I have to take control of my energy. I'm not the smartest guy, by no means, but very few people have ever or will ever outwork me, right? So I need energy. I get power from energy. So I want to stay mentally focused. I want to control the 12 inches of real estate that you know, is between my two ears. So if I'm not controlling that, I'm not staying, I don't say hyped up, that's a little mixed, but I'm not staying inspired, motivated. I'm not working with passion, right? I don't have a vision. I don't see runway. I have to have all that. If not, it's going to be too much. Specifically, this business, it will beat you up. You know, it will beat you up. So, you know, part of the motivational, first off, I love speaking and I love motivation. I just love it, right? What's better than just raw, authentic, you say authentic, positive energy? When is that not needed, specifically in our society today, right? Or our industry. So I put out a lot of the videos that originally started for my sales team. On Friday morning, I'd send this crazy little video. It's Friday morning motivation. And then I would send it out to the sales team and to the employees and whatnot, and everybody kind of get a kick out of it. Well, that kind of, you know, is grown to other videos, et cetera. You know, of course, I've done some public speaking, spoke for international companies and whatnot. So I think you have to stay inspired, man. I think you have to. So how are you going to do that? So, you know, I'm a big proponent of, you know, and I know you guys have heard this before. I'm a big proponent for your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. And it's just kind of like a garden, you know. If I'm going to let the weeds grow up in it, my outer world is going to be a mess. So messy bed, messy head, right? So I have to keep myself inspired. No one else is going to keep me inspired, man. I have to do that. And to do that, I really have to, I have to program myself. I have to sometimes fake it till I make it, you know? And when I'm the leader of motivation, then I have to act on that. Go ahead. I can't be hypocritical about it. I can't say one thing and do another.
No, I understand that. So what is your inspiration today, right now, you know, January 29th?
Great.
What is
great question today? Yeah, that's a great question, man. That's totally where I'm at today. You know, obviously I want to make $10 million a year. That's what I want to make. I want to earn $10 million a year. However, the living that I've been making over the last few years and whatnot, we live comfortable, you know, and I'm so grateful for that. So I have to tie my life and my work, so work is part of my life, I have to tie it to a greater purpose. So our company, Invotech, you know, we have a new mission, right? And you know, in a nutshell, our mission, we have a mission statement for this, but our mission is to be of service or to be of maximum service to our fellow man. So what's that look like if I'm in the solution business? So I have to tie that to a bigger, greater purpose. So we are out there to literally doing whatever we can do to provide maximum service to help assist what I consider the backbone of our country, the heartbeat of our country, the small to mid-sized business owner. So we're going out there as an advocate, right? And so that's how that is. That becomes a bigger purpose than, hey, this is Joe Mckee, let's see if I can make $1 million this year. Then we take our company, we want to scale it up. It's the easiest thing for me to do is just go sell the damn account. If I'm on it, I'll sell 50 accounts myself. I have a very small staff. You know, I'm keep it small, take it all. But that's not a greater purpose.
I like that.
Stay small, take it all, baby. You know, so, you know, I've owned company, 240 employees, right? That's like turning a big barge on a river, right? So I need to stay nimble, quick. Stay small, take it all. Specifically, to steal your all's tagline, to survive and thrive in today's new economy, you have to stay nimble. So, and the other thing is we want to provide a culture. We want to provide culture for our employees. We want to give them the opportunity to tap into abundance, to taste prosperity. We want a place where they can further or better their careers so they can get back to what their real job is, which is life, their family, their spiritual connection, etc. So we are now becoming the liaison or the hub for the small business owner, the heartbeat of our country, and helping broaden our employees, their life, literally. So then that taps into the better we can do that. Like Zig Ziglar would say, the more you can help, the more people you can help, the more you're going to receive, right? Then at that point, we're able to take our profits and then invest that in other business, help charities, do some other cool things. So you have to tie it to a greater purpose. I made, once I got up to $500,000 a year, you know what? I got lazy. And I got up to 1 million, lazy. I have to take it. I have to tie it to something better, bigger, not better, bigger and better.
I want to touch on something, and if it's all right with you, if it's too close to home or whatever,
please.
stop me. But
we're buddies. Go ahead.
There's, again, I've known Joe for a long time, and conversations, 2:00 in the morning, conversations, when first wake up, going to bed, whatever, our families are asleep, we're chatting about business, chatting about motivation, personal life. I talk to tens of thousands of people, okay, and I talk to a lot of motivational speakers. I spoke to a lot of business owners, and I've met with them personally. I've been to their homes. Joe's one of the very few that I've spoke to and met that is authentic. Now, it's not bullshit that's coming out of his mouth. And the way I realized this was he's got 2 boys that live through what Joe is constantly preaching on a day-to-day basis: hard work, motivation, consistency. You get out of it what you put into it. Just the positivity aspect. So as a business owner, as a motivator, as a father, as a husband, I've got to see, all those aspects for him and his personal life and professional life. And where they shine through the most is, to me, what the most important part is in his kids. He's got 2 boys that are going to be fantastic men. They're already fantastic young men. One of them that I know of is going to be, I said he's going to play for KU because we don't like Kentucky out here. But he'll play D1 ball. You watch this kid at a very young age, focused at such a high level and loving what he does and being great at it. Not just good at it, but he is great at it. And that all comes from Joe truly living throughout his entire life, all aspects of his life, what he preaches. So this is one man that truly practices what he preaches. It shows in his business, it shows in his personal life, it shows in his friendships. So anybody that's watching this or listens to this, please know that, and I'll definitely vouch for that. Joe, real quick, we're going to try to wrap this up.
We're running out of time. I got a few questions left.
One quick question for you, real quick. For the new sales reps that are 90 days in, 120 days in, and a short snippet, what do you have to say to them if they're struggling today?
Highly motivated. Stay highly motivated. Stay in the middle of the boat. You have to surround yourself with people who are on the same path. Someone that really has your, that cares about, your success. Continue to train. Be obsessed. You have to literally be obsessed with it. Grant Cardone talks about that, right? And understand that it's a process, and the journey is not going to be over in 60 or 90 days. There's a 90-day learning curve. We've talked about this. There's a 1-year learning curve. There's a 5-year learning curve. And you just have to, my mantra is keep on pushing. So I would say to that, keep on pushing. Tie your purpose with passion. And, and surround yourself with people so you're not alone. And then if I'm the agency, I'm going to show them I'm going to make it easier for them. It has to become easier. You have to show somebody out how to go out there and do this easier than guys like me were trained. I was never trained. Yeah, you have to do that.
John, what do you got for questions?
Well, the same question I ask everybody. Tell us about the unicorn that got away, that perfect merchant that you thought it was just amazing and it just didn't come to fruition.
So did they leave me, or did I couldn't get them on board?
Couldn't get them on board. You thought the deal was done. You're so happy, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, so I think this is where we're at with this. There's a company here called Big Red Liquors. I think they have 37, 38 stores, something like that, big stores. And I had a referral.
Red liquor?
Big Red Liquors, Big Red Liquors. And you can look them up on there. It's big outfit. Started out of Bloomington down at IU, I believe. So we do some places downtown Indy. There's a bar and grill down there that we do. And obviously everybody knows everybody down there. And one of his buddies is the owner of Big Red Liquors. And so we really thought we had that thing in the bag, so to speak. And it was going to be a game changer too. And we don't seem to be able to get it across the finish line. So I don't want to say I've given up on it, but reality is it's probably a dead issue.
Reality is maybe it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the reality of it, right? So now if I was a new sales rep, I'm still, I can get this. This is going to be a deal. I'm like, okay, dude, you're not seasoned enough. So anyways.
Okay, where do you see the industry, equipment, all that in 5 years?
Technology is definitely taken over, right? So go back to the laser approach. You're either going to have to get into technology, your own software. I'm finding it more difficult to become a reseller of the software, right? So you're going to have to get into that laser approach, develop your own software. You have to work very specific niches, and become a what would be the word?
Authority in that niche?
No, I don't. I just want to say exactly what you just took the words out of my mouth. Become an authority within that, right? And try to separate and elevate yourself from the crowd. So here's what we do. This is the vertical we work, and then being able to take a piece of technology or software that's specifically for that. I think that's important. So
that's what
I see the industry doing that, or I see the industry spreading out, where guys like us are just doing more solutions to offset that.
Any other questions you got, Austin?
Man, no, I think that we've gotten a pretty good glimpse into, who Joe Mckee is, what he's doing with Invotech and how he's gotten there. And, I definitely see another call in the future with them. There's a lot of stuff to cover in a short amount of time, but, I appreciate your time today. And John, I appreciate yours as always.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And Austin,
yes.
Happy belated birthday yesterday.
Oh, was your birthday yesterday, man?
You guys are that close and you don't remember?
I know.
Who get this?
Is it midnight? We talked at midnight. I'm like, dude, we're so busy. You probably was on Facebook, wasn't I? I didn't see this shit, man.
Speaking of that, you got to join our group on Facebook, Merchant Service Sales Group.
I'll send you a link.
Am I on that? Yeah, okay. Do it. I'm on it.
Monday night.
Hey, guys, I hope it.
Monday night, I was in the office with some friends, and it was kind of the same thing. They're like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm working. I've got my calendar is full from like 7:30 until 6. They're like, on your birthday? I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. Birthdays are just another thing these days. So, but no, I definitely got to go out and enjoy myself last night. So thanks for bringing that up.
My
Joe,
birthday always falls on ETA. So.
One other thing I love about this is, I think that we all agree on, kind of where the industry is going and how things flow. And people talk about markets a lot. Joe's in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm in Kansas City, Kansas. And John is in good old Southern California. And I think that we can all agree that no matter where you're at, the struggles and the things that we go through are pretty similar no matter where you are. So thanks for the motivation.
I want to make a statement on that. Yeah, I want to make one statement. I'll shut up. I think this industry is at a pivot point or a crossroad, and it's no longer the same it was 5 years ago.
Yep.
And people like us, even agents, are being forced to make some
hard decisions.
Serious decisions on which way they're going to go.
Yep.
And I think that's where the industry's at. And then you could take a look at what that's involved. But yeah, that's where the industry's at.
All right. I appreciate everybody. John, thanks again for hosting the podcast. And Joe, thanks for hopping on with us. And I hope everybody's got a blessed week and a good Wednesday, and we can keep going on.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Talk
you.
to you soon. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.